A former English teacher going viral after posting a raw and unfiltered farewell video as she leaves the classroom behind after just 3 years. Listen.
A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them. I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college.
Hannah is a former teacher, and she joins us now. She posted that video. More than 1 million people have seen it.
And with AI becoming so accessible to children nowadays, especially teaching in an English or Core 4 classroom, it's been especially challenging kind of to have the kids comprehend and critical think and think for themselves on certain things.
Yeah.
So on my way out, I wanted to kind of raise awareness and just let people know how AI and technology is affecting their children these days.
A former...
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey, what's going on, family? This is Ty from No Picks Podcast.
Hey guys, Angie here.
All right, and so I thought this would be a good one to do with you since you're a teacher, right? What grade do you teach again?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten, okay. All right, so from your perspective, right? Do you think?
Well, actually, first now, but either way.
Okay, so from your perspective, do you think do you think it would be better to keep technology away from kids at least until college?
I think that's extreme for kids to not have access to technology and then boom, in college is a little excessive. But I do think that there's a space where it should be limited. I think that if it needs to be limited anywhere, it should be limited at home, because at least in school, technology is used with a purpose. At home, I can't say, I can't not speak for everybody, but I would say the leisure time comes from more at home than it does in school. In school has technology, but it's structured, right? It's not YouTube, it's not AI, it's not ChatGPT, it's none of that stuff. So I would definitely say that I agree technology should definitely be limited, but if not limited, screened better by parents at home.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As far as, is that just what the question is that, or do you want me to also comment?
No, elaborate. Listen, do your thing.
Okay.
You the subject matter expert in this situation, so I'm deferring to you. So
so I get her frustration, I guess, to a degree. First of all, she's only been teaching for 3 years, so that's not enough time to.
So how many years would she need to be able to teach to have street credibility in your eyes? Then
you're gonna have to put at least, I'm gonna say 5 minimum, because your first 2, like, you're learning just like they are, right? Things change so much in education, like even for me, and I'm 11 years in, but for her, what she's saying is true. Kids reading scores and all that and all of those things, depending on where she was teaching to, they didn't say, definitely they're below grade level and all of that, but we can't blame that on ChatGPT. ChatGPT is what, 2 years old, if that, as far as having access within schools. This has been a problem. So ChatGPT is not the reason why these kids are having struggling. Right. Like, let me just say that. Not to protect or defend ChatGPT, but that's not why. I would say that for sure.
Listen, from my, I don't work in education, so you know what I mean. But from my perspective, no, I see where she's coming from as far as, kids just seem to be a little slower, like, in my opinion. Like all those, like Joe and I looked it up a couple times, but like a lot of the, like what kids, a lot of kids read at like a 6th grade level, even though they're like in 12th grade, you know what I mean? Like they don't have the skills that you acquire throughout your years in school. And same thing in college. Like I've seen videos and stuff on TikTok or whatever where college professors are like, yo, like I know that y'all just ChatGPT these papers. Like this not like
Right.
you know what I mean? Like y'all it's seeming like the more advanced we get like technology wise, the more we rely on it, and the more we think that it's a substitute for actually doing the hard part, which is the actual learning. Like that's the hard part, right?
Right.
And I don't know if I necessarily fault the kids, because if I think, so all right, so let me say this, right? So from my childhood, um I went to school in Philly. My high school was Colonel Doherty, right? It doesn't exist anymore, if anybody was thinking, but regardless.
Mine either. Oh damn.
Okay. I had the hardest time with algebra. I remember waking up, I was living with my grandma at the time in Germantown. I would have to wake up at like 5:30 in the morning, brush my teeth, wash my butt, and put my uniform on and get on a bus super early and go to school super early to meet my my teacher.
Your teacher.
For algebra. His name was Mr. Flanagan, old white dude from Notre Dame. I knew because he had the tattoo tatted on his arm. Old ass white dude, like 70 years old, with the fighting Irish bow on his arm. And I would go there and before, like an hour before school opened up, and he would just give me private lessons. And he would just be like, yo, like, like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta put, like, it was, so I'm like, okay, so I'm like sitting there, and I did this shit for like maybe like 5-6 months straight. You know what I mean? And because it was like really important to me, because I wanted to crash. I didn't want to fail this class. And taking a class, I felt like I learned a lot. And let me say this, even if, like, I think about it sometimes now, that even if I didn't earn the grade, the effort that I put in to try to learn it, he would have still gave me the grade that he gave me. I feel like, right? Like, so like I ended up getting like a B in his algebra class. And like, I want to feel like I earned it, right? But even if I didn't, I feel like he would have gave it to me just off the strength of like.
But you did, though. You're assuming right now.
Yeah, I'm assuming. That's true. I'm assuming
you put in the work. You did what you had to do. So several things that I want to highlight in that little mini story that you gave. One, that woman that just gave that interview is no Mr. Flanagan, and there are not many of us there.
Okay.
Mr. Flanagan had to also get up and be. He didn't have to be
That's true.
there.
He wasn't getting paid for that, probably. I'm sure.
He was not getting paid to do exactly. That woman is no Mr. Flanagan at all. Also, your grandmother knew that you needed X, Y, and Z, and put you in a position to where you were able to access what you needed, or did whatever the means were you needed to take to get what you needed, right? Because Mr. Flanagan could have been there, and your grandma could have been like, no, you got to wait for your brother to get ready to go to school, so you can't get to school early, right? You can't do that. So you got to figure it out while you're there.
Yeah, that's true.
So a lot of things happened that made that possible, right? A teacher with dedication beyond a paycheck, right? Parents or guardians that cared enough and put your education, prioritized it to where whatever had to be done was done, right? Those are the key those are the two keys there, because without those things, you just wouldn't have known algebra. You'd have failed.
Yeah.
No matter how much Mr. Flanagan did during your class period when you were with 20-something other kids as well. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's but so much he can do.
But but my like dedication to try to learn this shit, like I can't do it without that either, right? So everything you said, I agree with. But it's like, I don't know why I thought that back then. Thinking back on it now, I don't know why it was so important to me to make sure I pass out algebra and what I mean, and get a good grade. I don't know why. Like I mean, even back, because even now, like I don't do anything that has anything to do with algebra. It has no bearing on my life, right? But for me back then, I really just didn't want to fail it, and I wanted to be competent in that class.
Right.
I don't know. Like listen. You guys, teachers, I think you guys are underpaid. I don't know how much y'all make, but whatever it is, it's not enough.
Right.
But I also believe that the culture has shifted to where school and teachers aren't really looked at as you know ways for kids to excel and learn a lot shit like that.
Right.
I think they're looked at for a lot of parents today as just daycares that they don't have to pay for.
Mm.
So
Yeah, especially I can agree with that, especially in the elementary level,
mhm,
right? So I taught kindergarten for 10 years, and that statement alone I would definitely agree with. I've had countless conversations with parents because and when you're 5 years old, none of it is on the kid, honestly.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
absolutely none of it. It's my job to make learning, it's my job to instill in them what you had in you to want to learn that algebra, right? That's my job as a kindergarten teacher. Aside from 1, 2, 3 and ABC, I'm setting the foundation of how important education is. I want to make it fun. I want to make it something you want to do. I got to make it cool. Like my job is to make learning fucking cool.
right.
And I'm up against a lot, especially with technology and all of the things happening in the world today with kids. It's not as easy as it used to be. But I've had countless conversations with parents like, I need you to recalibrate what kindergarten means to you.
Hmm.
Your child can fail this grade. Like, this is not daycare. When I say and I send flashcards home, this is what, like, I'm serious.
So
And your child will fail.
so let me ask you, like, all right, do you come across your fair share of parents that are just like, we don't really give a fuck?
They don't say it, but they show it because they'll look me in my face and say all the things, but it's clear that they don't. And another
Hmm.
thing is kids aren't going to lie. The kids aren't going along with the narrative. The kids like, my mom said no. My mom said no. She told me to go in my room. Like they're giving it up raw, like for exactly what it is. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, essentially, like you don't have to. They don't say those words to me,
Right.
but their actions speak louder than their words ever will. So, yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's crazy. That's
it's
that's
yeah. So
unfortunate.
it's yeah. It is, I mean, it is, and you have to. It's hard. It's definitely hard to do because there's incentives for us as teachers. Like we want our kids to meet certain goals, and those are our benchmarks as professionals. Like I
Right.
have goals I need to meet, and those are dependent upon my students' performance.
Right.
Once they leave me at 3 o'clock, it's out of my hands. I would hope that they're doing the things that I asked them to do. Like,
What do you think the
but if they're
probability is that after they leave you at 3 o'clock, their parents pick them up and they just shove an iPad in their face and they be like, "Yo, I
high.
gotta I gotta get my back blown out, or I gotta go back to my second job, or whatever it is." I'm being funny with
Yeah,
the black
more
and
than
white.
likely it's the second job. And I get that too, right? I
Right.
get it because I serve a lot of single parents who are like rushing to get their kids. I have kids who get picked up early every day so that mom can make it to work because she got to be to work at 3. You know what I mean? So this kid is missing a certain segment of the last
Mm,
subject of the day every day, right? So I make accommodations because I get it. I empathize as a single mom myself. Granted, my kid is not in school or any of that stuff yet, but I get it, right? And I understand the hustle. But the funny thing is, parents who are in a conundrum because of responsible actions such as working, those are my kids who are thriving. The kids who are not thriving as much as they could have the parents who are unemployed who have nothing but time to do the shit. Like
I
nothing
mean,
but time.
Netflix ain't
And
gonna watch
those are the
itself,
kids that
Angie.
struggle.
Net like I mean, the weed ain't gonna smoke itself. Netflix ain't gonna watch itself.
Can you
So like, you gotta
it's
give them
sad,
you
but
got
it's
you
yeah.
gotta give them grace too. All right, like let's be fair. Like, all right, like these ain't gonna drink themselves. You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's only so many pouring out for the dead homies we could do.
I'm
So
for real. Yeah, I mean it's really sad. It
yeah,
really is. It really is. Because like I said, the kids, ironically enough, the kids who thrive are some of the ones who like parents have to do that. Like that one example that just popped up into my head. Like she was one of my strongest readers. She was one of my like it wasn't I had to and mom was like in tears about having to pull her out of school early. And she felt, you know what I mean? Like she carried that burden. Like she felt like she was, because of what she had to do and the
Right.
cards that she was dealt, she was taken away from her daughter. So I had to reassure her, like, I get it, but this baby I want you to know that she's thriving. Like she's doing well, right? I also have kids who literally live across, I can throw a rock to their front door and they get picked up late every day. Mom come over in pajamas. Like she's
got crack. She's got crack.
And it's, I mean, and that's just the reality of it. It's sad, but it's like,
yeah. Well, listen. And it says subject matter expert here. I'm just here to throw lighthearted jabs. Let us know what y'all think, family. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.